My name is Jessie. Thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel today. I post weekly content that gives you a glimpse into my journey towards living a fit, fun, and financially free life. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you've seen any of my previous videos, then you know I am expecting a baby at the end of the summer. I know that I have male subscribers. I do have some tips for you in today's video, so please consider sticking around. Today I'm going to be sharing things that I wish I would have done with my previous pregnancy. So if you are interested in my 10 tips that I am definitely doing this time around, then please keep on watching. So the first thing that I really wish I would have done with my previous pregnancy that I am being very diligent about in this pregnancy is being consistent with my workouts and my walking. So I have always been a very active person. I was an athlete all through high school. I was very active in college. I've completed several marathons, but during my previous pregnancy, I was not so great about staying active. I didn't take walking very seriously. I didn't take movement very seriously. I didn't take the weight gain very seriously. And as a result, I did gain a lot of weight in my previous pregnancy, and that weight has been very hard to lose. And I have only gained 2 pounds, and tomorrow I will be 21 weeks pregnant. So the doctors are very happy with where I've been able to keep my weight so far. The baby is growing, so there's nothing to worry about there. My belly's growing, other areas are growing, so everything is growing appropriately, and the doctors really want to see me keep my weight down as much as possible until it just becomes too hard to keep the weight down. But I know for sure that the walking and staying consistent in my moving has been key this time around. And remember that a body in motion stays in motion. My mom always said motion is lotion. The more we move, the better we're gonna feel. I think that's been very, very true this time around. Tip number 2, if I need a nap or if I need a break, I've been better about taking naps and taking breaks this time around. So just because I said I'm moving more, that doesn't mean I'm moving all day. That doesn't mean I'm not giving myself breaks or days off. It just simply means that I've struck a better balance this time. If I need a nap, I take a nap. If I need a break, I take a break. But if I'm feeling good, then I'm gonna get up and move. So if you need a nap, take a nap. There's a lot going on when we're pregnant. Give yourself a break. Tip number 3 is two-parted. This tip is especially for my male viewers. Okay, guys, help a mama out. Of course, mama's gonna be getting a lot of attention during this time, as she should. But that doesn't mean that your role and your partnership in this journey is any less important. When mama's tired, give her a break. If she needs help carrying something, help her carry something. Help her clean the house. The other thing I want to remind all of dads to be, husbands, boyfriends, partners, remember to remind the mama to be in your life that she is beautiful, that she's desirable, and you love her. Be careful not to let your eye wander as her belly is growing from week to week. Even if she doesn't seem like she needs the support, I can promise you that even the strongest of mamas need a little bit of help sometimes. On the same note, mamas, if you are fortunate enough to have a husband or a boyfriend or partner of any kind who is able and willing to support you, wants to support you, wants to help you, for the love of God, let your partner help you. I consider myself to be a very prideful woman. I don't ask for help very often. It takes a lot of humility for me to express to Terrence that I can't do anymore today. You'd hear him say, "Hey, I got this." It's hard for my pride to take that in, but I wish I would have been better about that with my last pregnancy, because We don't have to do this all by ourselves. Allow this time in your life to be a romantic time of your life. Allow yourself to remember why you made a baby with this person in the first place. They want to be included in this journey with you, even if the role that they play is different. Tip number 4, practice gratitude, practice mindfulness, practice meditation. We had so much going on when I was pregnant with Apollo. We had moved from Fargo, North Dakota down to Tampa, Florida. In the midst of that move, that's when we discovered that we were pregnant. Even though we were so excited, we had all this new stuff going on. We were in a new state. We were in a completely different part of the country. I had a new job. There was so much going on. I think that I had been practicing gratitude, practicing mindfulness, practicing meditation, I think I would have been able to manage that stress a lot better. And I'm doing that this time around, and I'm so glad that I am. I can tell that my stress level is lower and I'm managing the stress better just by taking out some time in the morning to remember how grateful I am, how fortunate I am to be pregnant again. I always try to take time out in the morning when it's still quiet to think positive thoughts. Tip number 5 is actually a big one. I wish I would have got one of these. It is a pregnancy pillow. Yes, it's an investment. I got it off of Amazon. This picture is not even gonna do it justice. So I have the picture right here of, that came in the packaging. Even though my belly is not very big yet, it is big enough that it's heavy when I sleep. As your belly grows, it's gonna get heavy. So by the time I was in my 3rd trimester, the majority of the way through my 2nd trimester, I had pillows under my belly. I had pillows between my legs. I had pillows under my back, just because everything is so heavy and so uncomfortable. This pillow has made such a difference already. And could you do, the less expensive version and just stuff pillows everywhere? Yeah, you can. Is it going to be the same? No, this is definitely worth the investment. And I'm going to continue to use this pillow after pregnancy. I imagine using it for nursing. I imagine using it for postpartum, during the postpartum healing stages. And it's a really comfortable pillow. So I imagine us getting use out of this pillow even after pregnancy. A pregnancy pillow is definitely worth the investment. I will tell any pregnant woman to invest in a pregnancy pillow. Tip number 6, invest in maternity clothes. Now, one thing I wish I would have learned when I was a much younger adult is that just because something zips or buttons or clasps or covers everything, that does not necessarily mean that your clothes fit. Clothes fit when they flatter your figure. Now, I say invest in maternity clothes because in my previous pregnancy, I had a couple maternity clothes, but for the most part, I just went up in sizes. That's not good. Don't do that. Invest in maternity clothes because maternity clothes are made to grow very specifically in the way that a pregnant body grows. So going up in sizes as opposed to just getting maternity clothes, a bigger size is not going to fit in flatter. It's going to look frumpy. It's not going to feel good. And you might push back and say that, maternity clothes are expensive. And sometimes maternity clothes are expensive, but they don't have to be. There are plenty of options for not having to spend a ton of money on maternity clothes. Because remember, you're not buying a whole new wardrobe. You're not flipping your entire wardrobe. You're buying a couple pairs of pants that you can wear to work. You're buying a couple shirts that you can wear to work. You have a couple leggings that you can wear around the house. If you're if you're pregnant during the summer, buy a couple pairs of shorts. We're not talking about a new wardrobe that should cost you hundreds of dollars. We're talking about setting aside some money every paycheck to go buy a pair of pants or go buy a shirt. Plus, you're not really gonna need maternity clothes in your first trimester. You will. I didn't need them my first trimester, at least I should say. So I had the first 12 or 13 weeks to be putting a little bit of money aside so that when my belly event inevitably popped, I'd have some money set aside to go buy maternity clothes. Now remember, you don't have to go to the expensive maternity stores to buy really good quality maternity clothes. Target sells maternity clothes. Walmart sells maternity clothes. Old Navy has great maternity clothes. My TJ Maxx and Marshalls, they don't have maternity clothes, but I know that in other locations that are not Fargo, North Dakota, they sell maternity clothes. If you're really on a tight budget, thrift stores have maternity clothes. You have friends that have maternity clothes that they want to get rid of. There are so many options for finding maternity clothes that are going to fit. If you are in the same situation as me, I live in Fargo, North Dakota, so we have shopping options, but it's pretty minimal. So most of my maternity clothes are going to end up coming from Target and Amazon. So when you wear clothes that fit you, that flatter, that show off your curves, that show off that baby bump that we have worked so hard for, we should be proud to show off our baby bumps. Maternity clothes are going to fit much better. You're going to feel much more confident. And when we feel confident, we address the world with confidence, and then the world will address you back with some respect. And we have to respect ourselves. We have to put our best foot forward before we can just expect that the world's going to treat us a certain way. Be nice to yourself. Get yourself some clothes that fit. Tip number 7. If you guys have been watching my channel, you know that just about every other week I am posting my envelope stuffing challenges, and I'm stuffing my sinking funds. I wish that I would have been better with my money. I wish I would have started my journey before my last pregnancy so that I would have been saving for baby. Now, as I say this, please know that I don't regret anything about my last pregnancy. I love everything about my journey. I love everything about my son. But there are things that I'm doing this time that I wish I would have been doing last time, just to make the journey easier. You have 40 weeks. You have 40 weeks to save up some cash, put away some money for when the baby comes. Now, having the baby might not be as expensive as you think. The big expense may not necessarily be buying supplies for the baby, because you have friends and family that want to help you with that. But there are going to be things that come up that other people are not going to be able to help you with. They don't tell you that when you go on maternity leave, you might not get paid at all. Depending on where you work, you may not get paid during maternity leave. You go on maternity leave and maybe your job holds your spot, but you may not get a paycheck. Or if you get a paycheck, it may be significantly less than what you're making. That was the scenario for me when I had Apollo. I was on paid maternity leave, but it was about 75% of my normal paycheck, and I didn't make very much money at the time to begin with. So we didn't have a lot of money coming in during the 3 months while I was on maternity leave. So I know for this time coming up, I'm going to be prepared because I'm not sure what the maternity leave pay will look like, but I do know for sure it's going to be less because I won't be earning commission during the 3 months that I take off. I'm in sales. I rely very heavily on commission. So I am saving up for baby. And so if you've been watching my videos on my sinking funds, you know that I set aside a certain amount for my baby. I have goals for where I want to be when the baby comes. I wish I would have done that with Apollo. This time around, I'm just going to feel much more prepared. Tip number 8. Resist the urge to buy baby stuff too soon, and resist the urge to buy too much baby stuff. When I have the amount of money saved up that I want saved up for when the baby comes, that's when I'll start stocking up on stuff for baby. Things like diapers and clothes and blankets, and start getting the bassinet, things like that. Wait, because when you have your baby, you're gonna be surprised by all the stuff you actually don't need for the baby's first couple months. There's some things that you do need and there's some things that you don't. And I think that I will post a video about that in the future. So save yourself some money. Save yourself some money, save yourself the space. You don't need to start stocking up on baby stuff quite so early. Let your friends and family help you get those supplies. You have people in your life that want to help you. Let them help you, because it's going to save you some money. But just ask that they don't buy things too early, and that they don't buy stuff that's off of your registry. Be very intentional about the things that you have on your registry, so that you're not taking in too much stuff and there's no unnecessary spending. Tip number 9, meal prep. Meal prep is kind of a game changer across the board. It's a game changer when you're trying to be healthy. It's a game changer when you're trying to save yourself some time. And it's also a game changer when you are trying to save yourself money. Meal prep is something that I wish I would have started doing when I was young. And I wish I would have gotten in a much better habit when I was a lot younger. And then the other thing that you're gonna wanna make sure you do is prep as you get closer, is meal prep as you get closer to having the baby. Look on YouTube for meals that you can prep ahead of time and freeze for when you have the baby. I wish I would have done that ahead of time. That way our freezer and fridge would have been stocked. We were very fortunate enough that my mom was able to help us stock up. We went on a huge, massive Costco run when my mom came to help with the baby. And while I'm very grateful for that, had I have been more prepared with freezer meals and more stocked, we wouldn't have had to do that. Now, I love a good Costco haul like any other mom, but it's not always necessary. And sometimes it's nice to know that you have a fully stocked freezer when you're getting ready to take home that baby. Tip number 10, the last thing I wish I would have done. This is a completely different tip than the rest of the video, but one thing that I will be doing when we get closer to having the baby that I wish I would have done before we had Apollo is I wish I would have found a pediatrician before I had Apollo, and I will be doing that this time around. I don't hear that many people talking about this in their YouTube videos, so maybe this is a pretty commonly known thing, but when we had Apollo, we had no idea that we were already supposed to have a pediatrician picked out. We just kind of thought the hospital would make some recommendations, and they did, but I had the time to go and find a pediatrician before. I just didn't know that was something I needed to have before we would be released from the hospital. Before you're even released from the hospital, you need to have a pediatrician, and you're gonna have your first pediatrician appointment scheduled before you leave the hospital. I did not know that, so that was just another added stress when we were in the hospital. So during my pregnancy, probably in my 3rd trimester, I will have a pediatrician ready for when we deliver. That's all the tips I have for you today. Next week's video will be a payday video, so sinking funds and stuffing my envelopes. And more importantly, next paycheck is the last paycheck that I'm making towards my student loan. So after next week, I will officially be debt free, which is amazing. So please consider subscribing to my channel. I have a small YouTube channel at the moment, but it is growing. So I appreciate everybody that has supported the channel by subscribing so far. I appreciate each and every one of you that has been watching this video. So if you're still here, thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time.